He went 11 years without a bracelet, came second 5 times, and third 6 times. But when the $50,000 Poker Players Championship rolled around, Daniel Negreanu found a full house at the perfect moment, and everything changed. From his breakout win at 23 to the final table war that ended the drought, this is the truth behind Daniel Negreanu's 7 World Series of Poker bracelets and how he got each of them. Let's go back to the beginning. It's 1998. The WSOP is still finding its global footing. 23-year-old Daniel Negreanu walks into Binion's Horseshoe in Las Vegas like a kid sneaking into a lion's den. Except he wasn't bluffing. He entered the $2,000 pot limit hold'em event with confidence. And by the end of it, he walked away the youngest bracelet winner in WSOP history at the time. The final table wasn't stacked with soft spots. It was seasoned pros, grinders who knew how to lean on inexperience. But Daniel didn't back down. His game wasn't just aggression, it was control, timing. He knew when to pick spots, when to trap, when to float, and when to let the other guy hang himself. That first bracelet earned him $169,460. But more than that, it put the poker world on notice. The kid from Toronto was for real 5 years later. It's 2003, and Negreanu's back with a deeper arsenal. This time he takes on the $2,000 shoe event, one of the trickiest formats in the game. It rotates between 7-card stud, hold'em, Omaha 8, and stud 8. You don't win that event unless you can play across all 4 disciplines, often against specialists in each one. Daniel wasn't just holding his own, he was dominating, adjusting to changing tempos, reading split pots, controlling bet sizes across limit and split formats. It was a technical display of poker IQ. He claimed his second bracelet and added another 6-figure payday to his record, proving that he wasn't just a no-limit guy. He was becoming one of the most well-rounded players in the world. 1 year later, 2004, he kept rolling. This time it was back to limit hold'em, $2,000 buy-in. Not the flashiest format, but that's what makes it even harder to win. It's edge over flair, precision over chaos. You can't just shove your way out of trouble. You need to outthink, outbet, and outmaneuver every street. Daniel did just that. He took advantage of every missed c-bet, floated with the bottom pair, and check-raised turns like he was reading the script. He won that bracelet for $169,100. But more importantly, it marked his 3rd unique format win at the WSOP. The versatility was starting to show. Then came 2008. By now, Daniel was a superstar. TV spots, magazine covers, endorsement deals. But fame doesn't guarantee results. The fields were getting tougher, younger, more aggressive. Still, he went back to his roots. $2,000 limit hold'em, old school structure, long grind, no shortcuts, and again he rose to the top. This wasn't a steamroll. It was a bloodbath of raises, re-raises, thin value bets, and brutal laydowns. In the end, Daniel outlasted them all and took down bracelet number 4, cashing in $204,874. It wasn't flashy, it was pure. Then came 2013, and with it, the return of the old kid poker fire. That year, he won not 1, but 2 bracelets on 2 different continents, Asia and Europe. First, it was the World Series of Poker Asia Pacific in Melbourne, the $10,000 no-limit hold'em main event. The field was small but stacked, high roller regulars, GTO crushers, local sharks. Daniel navigated it all with a hybrid game, tight early, aggro late, and sharp on final tables. The final hand? A well-timed shove with the better kicker. He took home $1,038,825 and bracelet number 5. But he wasn't done. A few months later, he crossed the globe to the WSOP Europe in France. The event? 25,600 euros, no-limit hold'em high roller. A brutal field of elite players and nosebleed specialists. One mistake and you're toast. But Daniel played like a surgeon. Short stack, he picked the right moments to re-jam. When deep, he bullied with blockers and squeezed spots that others missed. He adjusted to the dynamic of every table he sat at. Heads up, he went toe-to-toe with the best and came out with the win, and 725,000 euros richer. It was bracelet number 6. 2 continents, 2 titles, 1 Player of the Year trophy. Then, nothing. For the next decade, Daniel Negreanu chased bracelet number 7 like a ghost. He made final tables, dozens of them. He came runner-up 5 times. He finished 3rd 6 more. He battled legends like John Hennigan in marathon matches, got rivered by 2 outers, misread rivers by inches, and watched title after title slip away. and the pressure built. Poker had changed. The fields got sharper. Solvers entered the conversation. GTO became the gospel. But Daniel, he stayed in it. He kept grinding, kept studying, kept putting himself in the fight. By 2022, he won the Super High Roller Bowl for $3.3 million, but it still wasn't a bracelet. By 2023, he was down over $2 million in live events across the WSOP. He was still vlogging, still showing up, but the drought had become the story. Then came 2024, the $50,000 Poker Players Championship, a 5-day mental marathon. 9 different poker formats, rotating every level. No gimmicks, no luck boxes, just the best of the best in the most grueling test poker offers. Daniel had been here before. He knew the structure. He knew the faces. Phil Ivey on one side, John Hennigan on the other. Every single player at that table could read your soul and snap off your stack in an instant. Day 1 went fine. Day 2, a slow bleed. By day 3, Daniel was short. Dangerously short. 2 big bets, but he didn't panic. He survived. Limit games are funny that way. You can be near death and still come back. Daniel knew that. He stayed in the fight. He waited for the rush. And when it came, he was ready. Day 4, Phil Ivey busted in the 7th. Then Benjamin in 5th. Suddenly, it was the 3-handed war. Daniel, Bryce Yockey, and Chris Brewer. All 3 swapped the chip lead. Brewer got aces and still lost. That left Daniel heads up with Yockey. And it felt doomed. Daniel was down 2.5 to 1 in chips. He stepped away from the table, lights glaring, crowd watching, and the doubt crept in. Another second place, another almost, but then something shifted. He told himself, it's my time, it's mine. He said it again, it's my time. And when he sat back down, it was. The pivotal hand came in pot limit Omaha. Daniel flopped a pair in an open-ended straight draw. Yockey had the edge, but the turn gave Daniel trip deuces. He held. He jumped out of his chair, his first real celebration in years. Then, the final dagger. In 7-card stud, Daniel made 2 pair against Yockey's weaker 2 pair. 1 more pot, and it was over. A full house on the river. Yockey drawing dead. Daniel's eyes welled up. The crowd chanted his name. The 11-year wait was over. Bracelet number 7. It wasn't just another win. It wasn't just $1 million payday. It was closure. It was legacy. Daniel Negreanu had finally conquered the one event he had always called the most meaningful in all of poker, the Poker Players Championship. And for Daniel, that 7th bracelet didn't just mark another trophy in the cabinet. It felt like redemption, like proof that he still belonged in the highest tier among the legends. After years of self-doubt, brutal rivers, and close calls, he finally had a moment where, by his own words, everything went right. What made that win even sweeter was how it mirrored his original rise. In 1998, a young Daniel shocked the poker world by taking down the pot limit hold'em event. Back then, he was the underdog, the kid with a cocky grin and the Canadian accent. But even at 23, he already had the tools, elite hand reading, natural instincts, and a mind built for pattern recognition. Now, 26 years later, in a completely different poker world, he was still using those same tools, just more refined, sharper, hardened by thousands of hours in Bobby's room, deep runs on the EPT, brutal losses on the WSOP stage, and the unique humility that only comes from being constantly in the public eye while trying to chase greatness. This wasn't a feel-good story built on nostalgia. Daniel didn't luck box into bracelet number 7. He grinded for it. And the moment he got it, you could see everything pour out. The pressure, the pain, the pride. For the first time in a long time, he didn't just feel like a contender. He felt like a champion. But that wasn't the end of the story. Because now, with the bracelet drought behind him, Daniel's on the hunt again. In the 2025 WSOP, just weeks after winning his 7th, he's already deep in another run. This time in the 10K Omaha High-Low 8 or better championship. And it's not a soft field. He's going up against Victor Isildur one. He's going up against Victor Isildur Blom, one of the most aggressive and unpredictable players in online poker history. As of this last update, Blom holds the chip lead, but Daniel, he's right behind him. Locked in, eyes forward, chasing bracelet number 8. There are 5 players left, and Daniel's in second, nearly tied with Ryan Bambrick. The table's tough, the structure's deep, the pressure is high. But here's the thing, Negreanu's not playing scared anymore. He's playing free. And when Daniel plays free, he doesn't just win chips, he wins hearts, fans, fantasy points, and very possibly another place in poker history. That 7th bracelet did something else too. It shot him back to the top of the WSOP earnings leaderboard. It was his 10th seven-figure score. He reminded everyone why he was named Poker Player of the Decade by the Global Poker Index, why he was the first to win Player of the Year twice, why he still draws the biggest crowds and the loudest applause. But numbers aside, what truly defines Daniel Negreanu is how he plays the game. He doesn't just play the cards, he plays the man, the range, the situation. He's not scared to talk through a hand mid-street, guess your exact holding, or call you with ace high if he thinks you're full of it. He'll float with bottom pair, lay down top two, or snap off a bluff with nothing but timing and tone. And he's evolved. The guy who built his early legacy with loose aggressive small ball has also studied solvers. He knows when to stick to feel and when to trust the math. That blend, the old school instincts with new school tools, is what makes him so dangerous today. Behind every bracelet win is a story, a moment, a read. Like in 2003 when he switched gears hand to hand in the shoe rotation, shifting styles like a boxer mid-round. Or in 2013 when he traveled across the world and beat two elite final tables, first in Melbourne, then in France just months apart. Or in 2024 when he beat Yaki heads up in a showdown that felt more like a championship fight than a poker match. And now, he's back on another deep run, hunting for number 8. It's wild to think that after all this time, Daniel might just be getting started again. He's not done, not even close. With over $55 million in live earnings, dozens of final tables, and a place in the Hall of Fame already secured, he could easily walk away today as one of the greatest ever. But that's not who he is. Daniel doesn't just want to be remembered. He wants to compete, to teach, to grow. He still streams hands, breaks down plays, mentors young players, and shows up to every WSOP like it's his first. He still signs autographs, still talks through hands on break, still builds fantasy teams and bets on himself. And he's still learning, because that's the real legacy of Daniel Negreanu. Not just the bracelets, not just the money. It's that for over 25 years he's made poker more human, more fun, more relatable. So when you talk about the greats, sure, mention Helmuth's 17. Talk about Ivy's precision. But remember this, Daniel Negreanu doesn't just win bracelets, he builds them, one hand at a time, one read at a time, one unforgettable story at a time. So, how did Daniel Negreanu get 7 WSOP bracelets? He outlasted legends, read souls, and never stopped showing up. Drop your favorite Negreanu moment in the comments and hit like and subscribe for more iconic poker stories like this.